Hey everybody, Ray here. I am back with a surprise character. Well, they were a surprise to me, but you guys have seen the thumbnail. The mighty Shenhe has graced my account, and I wasn't expecting this as I usually have to go so close to pity and did not have the primos to make it there. I do have Xiao and Ganyu, so I will make videos with the two of them very soon, and hopefully it'll help you decide where to spend your primo gems. Before we hop on in though, please let me know if you like these videos by hitting that like button, and if you're not a member of the team, please consider bopping the red button and coming and joining us. If there's a character or topic you want to see, let me know in the comments. Shenhe experienced great tragedy in her youth and was taken in by the Adepti. Shenhe has become a fantastic student, but her isolation in the mountains means she's a little detached from the mortal world. Okay, really detached. Whether it's her ethereal looks or cold and distant nature, those who encounter Shenhe mistake her for an Adeptus herself. And by now, she's given up trying to explain that she is only human. Before we get into Shenhe's talents, I'm just going to go through my build. This is kind of cobbled together because it got to a point where I honestly didn't think I had the primo gems, so stopped preparing for her. I had, however, gotten enough talent books ready to get all of her talents up to level 7, and after I got Shenhe, I stopped wishing on the event banner, so no constellations. I had a good supply of basic leveling and ascension items, so with a little farming on the new boss, I've got her to level 80, with 5 ascension levels unlocked. And she's been hanging out with Chongyun in the teapot and is a member of the commission squad, so friendship is level 3. For weapon, I am wishing for one of the current featured polearms as either a boost for Shenhe or Xiao, but at the moment she's got a level 80 Wavebreaker's fin on refinement level 4. I went with this one for the attack boost, and as I think most of the characters that I use have a high burst cost, it will hopefully power up her burst. Her artifact set has been thrown together, but I'm probably going to stick with 2 Shimenawa and 2 Gladiators for those attack boosts. Both of the fixed pieces are from the Shimenawa's Reminiscence set, and there's an attack timepiece, HP Goblet, and crit damage circlet. Generally speaking, I'm not sold on the stats of these pieces that she currently has, so I haven't leveled them up much yet, and I may go for full attack if I get some better pieces, or I may switch around the sets completely, but I haven't fully decided yet. If you're considering adding Shenhe to your team and want to prepare materials in advance, you'll need a bunch of cryo crystals, Dragonair's False Fin from the Butthersmall Visharps, Junction Flowers, and Whopper Flower Nectar. For her talents, Shenhe needs Books of Prosperity, more Whopper Flower Nectar, and Hellfire Butterflies from La Signora. And as always, if you're planning on maxing out any of her talents, you'll need Crowns of Insight. Once you've added Shenhe to the team, any more wishes for her will give you Stellar Fortuna to light up her constellation, Christa Dolores. With the constellation that sounded so pretty, I wasn't expecting it to translate to Crest of Pain. But in true what doesn't kill you makes you stronger fashion, Shenhe's constellations do improve her talents in battle. Shenhe's basic attack Dawnstar Piercer performs up to 5 consecutive spear strikes. Her movements are very ethereal, so it's very easy to see why people think she is an Adeptus. Her charge attack consumes stamina to lunge forward, and when plunging from midair deals AoE damage on impact with the ground. Her elemental skill, Spring Spirit Summoning, will grant all nearby party members the Icy Quill effect, and deal cryo damage in different ways. If the elemental skill button is tapped, she will rush forward together with a Talisman Spirit, dealing cryo damage to opponents along the path. If the skill button is held, it will command the Talisman Spirit to deal AoE cryo damage. The Icy Quill effect will increase the damage dealt by a character based on Shenhe's current attack. The Icy Quill's effects will be cleared once its duration ends, or after being triggered a certain number of times. The held version can be triggered more times and will last longer. The second passive talent, Spirit Communion Seal, will grant nearby party members the following effects when Spring Spirit Summoning is used. A press of the skill will increase elemental burst and elemental skill damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Holding the skill will increase normal, charge and plunging attack damage by 15% for 15 seconds. The first constellation, Clarity of Heart, will allow Spring Spirit Summoning to be used one more time. The third constellation, Seclusion, increases the level of Spring Spirit Summoning by 3 talent levels. For the fourth constellation, Insight, when characters under the effect of Icy Quill applied by Shenhe trigger its damage bonus effects, Shenhe will gain a stack of Skyfrost Mantra. When Shenhe uses Spring Spirit Summoning again, she will consume all stacks of Skyfrost Mantra, increasing the damage of that Spring Spirit by 5% for each stack consumed. She can hold a maximum of 50 stacks, and each stack will last for 60 seconds. And for the final constellation, Mystical Abandon, when characters trigger Icy Quill's effects using normal and charged attack damage, it doesn't count towards the trigger quota. With the elemental burst, Divine Maiden's Deliverance, Shenhe will unleash the power of the Talisman Spirit, allowing it to roam freely, dealing AoE cryo damage. The Talisman Spirit creates a field that decreases the cryo resistance and physical resistance of opponents within it, and deals periodic cryo damage to opponents within the field. The first passive talent, Deific Embrace, grants a 15% cryo damage bonus to an active character within the field. The second constellation, Centered Spirit, will increase the duration of Divine Mate's Deliverance for 6 seconds. Active characters within the skill's field deal 15% increased cryo crit damage. The fifth constellation, Divine Attainment, increases the level of Divine Mate's Deliverance by 3 talent levels. The final passive talent, Precise Comings and Goings, grants 25% more rewards to Shenhe when dispatched in Liyue on an expedition for 20 hours. And when cooking the attack-boosting dish Dragon Beard Noodles, there's a chance she'll create her signature dish Heartstring Noodles instead, which will give a greater attack boost than the original product. When it comes to Shenhe's place in your team, I know I usually keep it free to play friendly with 4 stars, but there are a few 5 stars I do want to mention today. The first thing though to consider is of course the Cryo Resonance Shattering Ice, which increases crit rate against opponents that are frozen or affected by cryo by 15%. And if you struggle with your team's crit rate like I do, that can be really helpful. Shenhe will fit best in a supporting role, not as your main damage dealer, so it can be paired alongside the likes of Eula, Aloy or Ganyu, and support them with damage and crit buffs, or paired with Chi-Chi as a healer to support a Hydro-based team. When it comes to the 4 stars, I kind of feel Kaya and Rosario would compete with Shenhe for the sub-DPS role rather than complement her, where Chongyun and Diona would make a good pairs for different reasons. Chongyun's elemental skill opens up more opportunities to deal cryo damage, and Diona can pretty much do everything. Cryo of course pairs really well with Hydro to keep enemies frozen in place. If you have Mona, I think she's a great choice, or even Kokomi as a healer, but of course Barbara can fill that role, and Shengqiu is a good option. Also, Animo pairs really well with a double cryo team to spread the cryo element to more enemies. My top pick for Animo would be Sucrose, Xiao would be your 5-star option, and Shenhe's burst pairs nicely with his. The Traveller is super accessible and her elemental skill will spread the cryo, and of course Sayu can also act as the team healer. Although if you're not thinking of a double cryo route, or just want more options, adding Shenhe into a double pyro team boosts the entire team's attack, and gives you the option of creating the melt reaction. Electro pairs really nicely with cryo, especially if you have a physical damage main like say Eula in the party, and Geo can bring in your shields with characters like Ningguang's Geo attacks causing Crystallize, or Noelle's elemental skill. When it comes to final thoughts on Shenhe, honestly, if you are a free-to-play player and are confused where to spend your primos this patch, pick one of the rerun characters. We can be pretty confident that Shenhe will have another banner, but we don't know when we'll see the other characters again. Unless you absolutely love Shenhe's playstyle in the trial, or she's your favourite character, I'd hold on to your primos for a bit. And this isn't really any hate on Shenhe, I really like her as a character, her design is amazing, her talents are cool, but I just feel like I wouldn't be missing out on anything if I didn't have her, and I don't feel like I could say that for the other characters that are available this patch. So that's all I have to say for today, and I hope you found this video helpful. I will work on getting up a Xiao and Ganyu version as soon as possible to really help you decide. The question of today's video is, are you guys glad that Windtrace is back? I think Windtrace is one of those great events that I honestly won't be mad if they bring it back a few times each year. I have some pretty dastardly hiding spots, so hunters beware. If you see me in Windtrace, don't forget to say hi, and I'll see you next time.
Do you prefer the artificial light of the cities and towns, or the moonlight in the mountains?